All right. All right. Hello. Hello. Oh man, I got it. Yeah, I got a good mic. I got a good mic. What's up, man? Hey, your face look familiar. Yeah. What's going on? Thank you. See how that you look familiar. You look familiar. All y'all look familiar. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, y'all look familiar. Hey, hey, how y'all doing? Hey, y'all ready to get something? Yeah, we're gonna drop something. We'll drop a seed. Drop a seed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. This is why we come here. You know what I'm saying? We drop a seed. I'm just glad that you show up. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, even if you have to, if somebody make you, you would never know when you might hear something, huh? You never know when you might hear something. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, a lot of times stuff comes to you and you ain't even looking for it. Wouldn't miss it. You know what I'm saying? Man, because we can get messages from everybody. We get a message. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll get it. Man. We'll get it. Huh? Yeah. Y'all good? Yeah. Hey Steve, that man, we really got some what's going here, man. Huh? I know, man. I know.
Yo was at West
The other week, man, Stewart's anniversary.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I had the little McShane Foundation out there on the street, the little festival thing.
Oh no, no, this was something else. But
Oh, they had something going on like 3 days ago.
yeah, they did. Yeah, yeah, that was sweet too. Yeah.
I seen it on the news. It looked like it was.
Oh yeah, it was.
I miss it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But Stu, Stu celebrated, man, and uh, that was that was serious. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was serious. But yeah, no, you went to the. It was a recovery fest. Yeah, recovery fest.
35 years playing.
Stewart, 37. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We might go to the one that they used to have one in Baltimore every year, like in the springtime. We go up there. You from that area? You from that area? Are you from this area or you from Baltimore? Oh, okay. But they got some awesome jumps, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just thinking about some of the people that have gone through this bullshit right here, man, got this shit together, making that thing work, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, you coming to make sure? Okay, yeah. Grateful Rob. Grateful Rob. Yeah, I know. Jib. Yeah, girl. Having problems. Shit, you can get right in the mix, man. You can get right in the mix. So that's what a lot of people don't have.
I ain't trying to go to your service. Real.
What you got?
Gotta take what I can get though, you know what I mean?
Our line got a little short, didn't it? That's all. I can mention they real short. Help him out, help him out. Yeah. My name is Marshall. I'm a person in long-term recovery. It's good to be here. Good to see some faces, you know? Just like I was telling the young lady, keep showing up, man, keep showing up. Eventually, you might hear something that stirs your interest, you know what I mean? For me, what I want to talk about tonight, man, we on an accelerated plan here tonight, because we got to be out here by 6:15. But what I want to talk about tonight is having some structure in your life, having some structure in your life, and also having some consistency with it. You know, having some consistency. I mean, I went through that. I'm out there doing my thing, and my pocket is fat for about 2 years. Then I'm back to jail. You know what I mean? Back in jail, you know? I need some consistency in my life. Man, I ain't been to jail since 1988. I ain't been in jail since 1988, other than just to carry the message. And the reason why I say it is because if I can do it, anybody else can do it. Anybody else can do it. I know what it is to sit here and think possible. You know, man, let me just throw this in there. At one time, I felt like it was impossible for me to go without sex. That shit changed. You know what I'm saying? That changed, you know. I thought it was impossible for me to go without drugs and alcohol. That changed, you know. That changed. And at the same time, it woke me up, you know, to a new reality. All of this stuff that I think I need, man, I don't need that. I don't need that. You know? I just got to figure some things out so that I could realize and understand that I don't need that. Man, I am who I am without all of that. You know, I'm a fun-loving, easygoing, humorous, funny kind of guy. Man, you know, that's what my wife loves me, because we tell jokes all the time. We keep each other laughing. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't on no negative kick no more. You know, I don't even want to be around people that bring us some negative vibes. I don't even want I don't want to be a part of that. You know why? Ain't no benefit in it. I mean, what do I get from it? I don't get nothing from it. I done figured that out. You know? I like positive shit, man. I like positive vibes. I was just telling the brother over here, man, I have witnessed so much shit. I done seen people that come through this joint right here. I've seen people go through the system, and I've seen how these people get out and how they thrive. You know? How they thrive. And they overcome this right here. They overcome that. The impossibles. They turn the impossibles into possibilities. You know? But my life now, man, my life now is consistent. That's why I mentioned you, but I ain't been in jail since 1988. My life is consistent, and I love that. I love that, because I'm one of these guys, I'm one of these persons that, you know what? I want to know all the answers. I want to know all the answers. You know? I want to know what's going to happen when I stop coming to jail. I want to know what's going to happen when I stop using. You know? Man, that's on you. That's on you. And none of us got that kind of vision. None of us got that kind of vision. But we got situations where you can look at. We got people that you can look at. Man, I'm just going to put this out there, man. Our speaker tonight was incarcerated for 17 years. That brother doing all right now. I'm talking about 17 years. I ain't talking about no 17 months. I'm talking about 17 years. You know, y'all get 7 months and everybody crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? This man was locked up for 17 years. You know? Now, visualize that. Visualize that. You know? I mean, what kind of stuff you go through being incarcerated for that long? You know? He realized too, man. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. This right here, our own worst enemy. You know? But whenever y'all get out of here, man, whenever y'all get out of here, and y'all need to contact somebody, man, to kind of help you, lead the way for you, show you some things, show you how to get some structure in your life. You know what I'm saying? Get this guy to come up right here now, man, to found this program called Max Shin Program. Come on up, John. Short story, I was in Richmond City Jail in 1988. He was coming in doing the same thing. I got out and I latched on to his wagon. That's why I have been consistently enjoying my life for 36 years.
Thank you, Marshall. Love you, buddy. If I known you were going to consistently beat me at golf, I'd have left your ass in jail, man. That was funny as shit. But you got to be able to know how to play golf to realize how good that is. You know, I love that consistent piece because everybody you're going to see in here tonight, we are consistent at several things. And by being consistent in some simple recovery steps and processes, we avoid residing in Henrico out here on Bahama or whatever they call this area out here. And I don't know about y'all. Maybe we look boring. Maybe we look like we ain't living the dream or whatever. That's why we bring in a variety of speakers. So maybe y'all can latch on to some of the stuff we're saying. And I know some of you do. I get it. You know, it's another day in the life of Riley out here. But man, while y'all get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, you just be thinking about this when you lay your head down at night. You know, do what we say make sense? Could it be your lifestyle? And some of y'all been in recovery. Some of y'all been out in the community that we run in. You've seen how we act, what we do, and the way we are. And you know we're for real. And I can promise you, I don't feel like I've lived a boring life. You follow me? I've done some cool, exciting things that meant something to a lot of people, including my family, my children, my parents, my brothers, my sisters, my neighbors. You know, I just moved out of my neighborhood. Me and my wife, we lived there for 25 years in the same house, same neighborhood. And when we left, I mean, the neighbors were crying. And they know my history. Matter of fact, over the years, they've all sent me their loved ones to try to take them to a meeting and help them out. You know, we become valuable people out in that community. And the good news is we use our past experiences. That creates great value for us in recovery. Each and every one of you, man, y'all got purpose. You got value out there in recovery. The only value you have in active addiction is for the criminal justice system. And they're here for you, as you can see. Speaking of which, thank you very much for letting us come in here and cooperating with us. That means a lot to us because we couldn't do this if we didn't have some teamwork going on. So I really appreciate that. And you let the sheriff know we value this relationship too. So y'all are fabulous. You know, I go all over the country and speak in jails and prisons, and there probably ain't 50 jails in America that let recovering people come in here consistently without barriers, carrying that message of hope that any addict can stop using drugs, lose that desire, and find a new way to live. And it's that new way to live is how you stay away from that obsession to using off those drugs. And that new way to live is better than anything you ever really dreamed possible of. Believe me, trust me when I say that. So I don't want to take up our time with our speaker because I'm excited to hear what the hell you did for 17 years, because I know what you're doing now, man. And it's amazing and it's fascinating. It's very impressive. I'm so proud of you for the life you live today. So I can't wait to hear a more comprehensive talk. Greg, come on up here and share some of that experience, strength, and hope.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg. I'm still an alcoholic and addict. Good to be here tonight. I heard Tim speak last week up at Henrico West. Rest of his story tonight. And Lisa's coming to speak at West next week. Y'all saw her a few weeks back, I think. Heard Lisa speak. What a wonderful story. But I was thinking on the way down here, I run into some people that I knew from the past every now and again. And they want to talk about where I've been and what happened and all that. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want to talk about where I'm going and where I am. I remember the past. That wasn't that long ago. And I remember living every day waiting for something bad to happen, because I lived a lifestyle that was not conducive to a positive outcome. It's kind of waiting for the next shoe to fall. And when my life got better through recovery, I went 19 years. When I left Courthouse Road, when I made parole up at Stanton, I left Courthouse Road. The guard took me by to see my mother, took me by the bank to cash a check for like $80, and then took me to the drug program, Human Resources, down at 919 West Gray Street. And I didn't drink for 19 years. I didn't drink, do any drugs, or any of that. And most of that was fear-driven. I didn't want to drink, drug, or anything because I was afraid of coming back to jail, afraid of coming back to being incarcerated. And I was just tired of that life that I was living. I was nowhere on my way to no place. And I was tired of going to bed every night, passing out, waking up the next day knowing what I didn't do or what I did do. Who was I going to have to avoid? Who was I going to have to apologize to? And I don't live like that anymore. I don't have to worry about it. The softest pillow in the world is a clear conscience. So when I lay my head on the bed at night, I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I'm not taking advantage of anybody. I'm not robbing and stealing and all that stuff anymore. And that's all because of God's grace in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and the program of Narcotics Anonymous. God has given me such a gift. This is a gift. May not seem like one now, but further years down the road, when you get into this and start working it and start living it, you'll see really what a gift it is. I don't have to hide from anybody anymore, ducking and dodging. And there's that guy, I owe him some money, I owe this person some money. There's somebody I did wrong, somebody beat me up, somebody I beat up. I don't live that anymore. Thank God, because that is tiring. Everybody in here knows how tiring that is. Ducking and dodging. But I am so thankful and so grateful that I have a life today that's worth living. I got an incredible wife. I got a job that I've been doing for 30 years, a career. I got a car. I got real friends today. It's not on the condition of what I can do for them. It's unconditional, based on the idea that I just don't drink and get high. And I don't have any thoughts of doing that, because I know if I do, my life is over with. My life will be over with if I pick up a drink or a drug. So I'm going to go ahead and end it with that and just tell you I'm so glad to be here. It helps me as much as it helps you. Hopefully you hear something that's going to stick with you. And also, hopefully you've had enough that you're tired, you really want to change. I didn't know how to change. The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous they call it, is designed for living. And I do everything that is suggested to me. I listen to Marshall, I listen to John, listen to other people, because they've been through it as well as I have. They know, and they can give me some advice. I can sit down and cry with them. Listen, I don't want to fool anybody. I fall apart sometimes too. I sit there and cry, and I'm in pain and hurting too sometimes. Sometimes my wife listens to me about it, but I call somebody in the program. My life is not, I've got a good life, but it's not easy. I have to work at it every day. But through the program, I have people to help support me, and people that care about me, and people I care about. And that's priceless. That is priceless. When I was locked up, I had 2 people come see me. I had my AA sponsor, and I had my mother. And I had this one old girl who used to do cocaine with all the time. I guess she thought I was going to get out and come and get back in the game. I said, ain't no need for you coming down here anymore. I'm going to be here for 5.5 years, maybe 6. Turned out to be 5.5. But anyway, I can't tell you how thankful I am. I'm telling you. Anyway, I speak tonight, Tim. I heard Tim speak last week. Touched on a few things. I just heard John talk about being locked up 17 years. Can't imagine. Can't imagine. But anyway, let's bring Tim on up here and have him share his story with you. Nice round of applause.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening. Thank you, appreciate that. My name is Timothy G. Grateful recovered from a hopeless state of mind and body. I'd like to extend my thanks to John. And man, y'all put me behind y'all, man. So 17 years being locked up, I have no great story behind that. It's just I made bad decisions, worse decisions. Actually, to be honest with you, statistically, I was not supposed to be incarcerated. You know why? Because I had both of my parents in my life. You know, my mom was a church-going woman. My dad, he was he was a Mason. Actually, he was a Shriner. Went to all of the basic, been everywhere, man. I've had everything that I ever wanted. I had my own room. I had a computer in my room. Marshall, you remember back in the day, you had the Atari 2600, ColecoVision, everything that you imagine now. I had a whole soccer game. No lie, no exaggeration, from this block all the way over to here, a whole entire, by myself. I was the youngest of 4 children. You know, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. So up there, you had drug dealers, drug users, pimps, prostitutes, the normal everyday things that you're going through. But yet, as I was sharing with Marshall coming down here, back then, they had something back then that we don't see nowadays, which is there are no men. No men. The mothers, you're placed in a position to where you're in the man's role. And where we standing at right here. Look, basically what we're looking at. That's basically what I looked at. And in 17 years, it's like, I'm gonna give you a little snippet of my life story. And then because I'm not gonna go, we all have the same life story. Broken, lying, manipulating, cheating any way possible, getting what I want, what I wanted. So, and growing up in a household is that's all great. But what really affected me was the trauma that I experienced of hearing my mother getting brutalized every night, getting beat. I used to hate at nighttime because I knew my father was gonna go in there, they're gonna start talking, and it's gonna end up her asking him to stop beating on her. Consequence of that, one night I said, you know, I'm gonna stand up for my mom. So what I did, I went, what any child would do to try to save his mom, I went and ran in the room. He was swinging a bedpost, this mark in the middle of my head. I'll have that for the rest of my life. Cracked my skull wide open. So all of that compound, I buried it down inside. So I went out to the streets, in which we all know. I'm gonna have one face here at the house, one face out here in the street. And everything out there in the street is going to be the face that nobody else know, because I'm going to other neighborhoods, because you always know and what's the code of the streets. You never, you never shit where you sleep, put your head at. So I'm gonna go do it in your neighborhood when I don't want it done in my neighborhood, but then I'm gonna say, why you bringing that to my neighborhood? I'm bringing it to your neighborhood. It's the age-old thing that's always going on. It's the same thing that's going on, the same cycle. Now, it's done blew up from neighborhood beef to social media. So now it's run rampant. So, and growing up, I had all the intelligence. I had a chance to actually at one time to take a test, to go to Harvard. Yeah, full 4-year scholarship, educational scholarship to go to Harvard. I blew that. I chose to stay out there in the streets to run around with my friends, get high, get drunk. Okay, so I had a chance. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force. I was an EOD. It's called Explosive Ordnance Disposal. So basically, I was the one who actually made the bombs and broke the bombs down. So if you see in the military movies where they see the guys walking through the minefields trying to find a mine, that was my job. 30 seconds. 30 seconds is the life expectancy of bomb disposal, or EOD. If a bomb falls out of the plane, hit the ground, we're the first ones to go out there to defuse it, to make sure the troops can go through, the tanks won't get blown up. Okay, so that was the end of that. So threw that away. As you can see, the repetition in my lifestyle is self-sabotage. Anything because I didn't want to be held accountable for nothing. Because if I actually was to look at my life in the snapshot, I am a total failure. My biggest success is my failure. That's my success. I was successful in the drug game. I was a failure as a son. I was a failure as an uncle. I was a failure as a brother. My sister's staying down in Dothan, Alabama. Used to see her in the summertime. So my mother always bred inside of us family. Go to church, going around there. They up there at church service, we down there shooting dice, smoking, drinking. But back then it was Mad Dog. We had Red Bull back then, but it wasn't an energy drink. It was beer. That's Red Bull. So when I saw that now, it's like, oh my God, man, it's like everything's full cycle. So in a nutshell, like you have to come to a point to where you're just like, enough is enough, man. I mean, it just, everybody can come in and talk. Marshall can come and talk. John can come and talk. Greg can come and talk. Steve can come and talk. I can spill my life. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? That's what I actually, and my eyes didn't get opened up. And out of all of that, I can go on and the things that I experienced going up to Canada, going up to every year. My mom used to take us up to Canada every year, just to get me out of that one state, showing me, but I was too stupid to realize what she was showing me. I was too dumb to realize that, hey, you're experiencing things that some kids are never even experienced. Or going to the French Quarter of Canada up in Montreal, walking up the steps to where, and just, looking at things that you see on movies. I'm like going up to Niagara Falls every year. I'm like, my cousins and them, they hustling up in New York. I'll go up there. They give me money just to stay out the game. But I took the money and get it from somebody else and said, you're not going to give it to me, somebody else will. But that's what we normally do. We're so greedy for everything. But at the end of the day, we done gave the very thing that really means so much to us. Where it said, what profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? And basically, you have no care. I had no care of who I hurt, when I hurt you, or how I hurt you. It just didn't matter. And then when it got to the point to where it got so bad to where I'm in a car accident going to go to re-enlist back into the Air Force. I'm going to make a left-hand turn going downtown. And a Pepsi truck come barreling down the street, ran a red light. My mother's sitting there in the passenger side. You know what she did? She threw herself across me to save my life. Would you be able to handle that? So she threw herself across me to save my life, which took her life. Now, she survived the accident. I was in and out. They said I blacked out like 3 times, but they'll bring me back. But when they wheeled me in, she went into a cardiac arrest when she saw me coming through. Now, you mothers, you understand. They're seeing your child come through. Now, you fathers, how many of y'all are fathers? Now, to see your child come through that door right now, that would crush you. True? True? Because you don't want to see them go through the same death that you went through. That's what she did. She laid her life down for me because she saw inside of me what I refused to look at inside of myself. I was too afraid to look at it. I was too scared to hold on to my responsibilities. I was too afraid to be honest of where I was. And sometimes I said I just didn't know, but try to come up with another, come up with another excuse or come up with another scheme or another hustle. So that wasn't the key. Hold on, it gets even better than that. So a week later, after I buried my mother, my stepfather takes me out to a diner. And this is where it gets good. So we sit down at diner. This is a diner me and my mom used to come to every week. Every week she took me to this diner. I didn't know why. The food was good though. I ain't gonna lie. The food was awesome. So it was a waitress that was there. And the waitress that was there, she always came to us. So I'm there knowing her to say, okay, so this is, I know her. He's like, yeah, you know this waitress right here. It's like, yeah, I know this waitress right here. So there's somebody that me and mama used to, used to take care of me and mom when she come and eat and stuff. He said, yeah. So he said, yeah, this is your aunt. I said, oh, cool. I was like, oh, is this one of your sisters? He said, nah. I said, oh, one of my mom's sisters, because those sisters that my mother had, they're a very big family. Felton family is a very big family. So he's like, nah. He said, that's your father's sister. I'm not your father anyway. That's how I found out that he wasn't my real father. Now, I was 20 years old. I just buried my mother a week prior to that. How would you feel? So I lost my mother, and at that moment in time, I thought I buried my father. I thought I was fraudulent as a Glenn because I'm not yours. You just threw me out there in the street. So I buried it inside. So, my brother said, all right, come on down here to Virginia, get your life together. Okay, so I just packed up myself, unmanageability, recklessness, and came slam down here to Virginia. I got down to Norfolk, and I found out how much they was buying a gram of coke for. I said, oh my God, really? Okay, all right, cool. So I said, look, I gotta jump on the telephone and get some drugs come down here to Virginia. So if listen, I had an opportunity, man. If you ever notice, it's a video, it's an old video, Rex-N-Effect called Rump Shaker. Y'all, anybody seen that video? All right, so that house was actually Muhammad Ali's house. It had a T and an R in the bushes. When you walk down the steps, you walk into where they had the yacht. How do I know? Because I was on the set. I had an opportunity to do it's crazy, man. I'm an idiot, yo. I'm telling you, man, I'm an idiot, bro. I am straight dumb, yo. An opportunity, man. Future Records is actually where Teddy Riley's studio was down in Virginia Beach. And Bobby Brown brother had came down. He was doing the My Prerogative CD at the time. Met him, sat down there, talked with him. Sweet Pea was fighting down at the Pavilion. Sat with him. As Harvey Austin was Teddy Riley's manager at the time. So there is no excuse for me getting incarcerated. As you can see, I'm giving you every excuse on why I shouldn't have been incarcerated. Been around stars, been around money, been around people, had the status, was on the junior congressman board when I was young. I went and sat at the UN listening to politicians talking different languages, eating with representatives from different countries. So there's no reason why I got incarcerated. There is no earthly reason. But you know what? There was a bigger purpose inside of me that, as in the steps, it says that when you come into the realization that you really have an issue and you had that bottom, my incarceration started when I was little and I used to take quarters out of my uncle's jar. I'm telling you, man, hey, look, man, them Swedish fish back in the day, no joints was huge, yo. And they had the real Jolly Ranchers where it looked like, you know the rulers, the long Jolly Ranchers? Come on, man. Come on. I know I ain't the only one that's seen them long Jolly Ranchers. You remember the real Jolly? Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you for being. So the real Jolly Ranchers, it looked like a ruler. That's a real Jolly Rancher. You give a 50 cents. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. Not the little, the turn from, that is That's what era I grew up at. That's when I first started mine. That's when I first got incarcerated. That's when I first, because I locked myself into a mind that I can get away. That first time when I was like, yo, I got away, I got something that wasn't mine and went and bought something else, and yet it filled my stomach. Oh yeah, I got you. I'm good. I'm well on my way. That was it. That was it. That was in, ball game gone. Everything else was just periods of time to catch up. Man, look, I couldn't do crime. When you're right now, you're in a point now that you will not be able to do anything wrong ever again. You know why? Because now you made a decision to do something to get yourself together. And you know the enemy, the disease wants to steal, kill, and destroy. Or it says that you'll hear that it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Cunning because it is slippery, slithery. Baffling is because you don't know how it's going to come or why you keep doing the same thing you're doing. And it's powerful because it has a power. It has a power that the only other thing that can combat that powerfulness is the powerlessness that I can concede to, that I'm powerless over money, women, drugs, alcohol. I'm powerless over anxiety, depression, PTSD. I'm just powerless over those things. Learning now how to manage and getting lifestyle together. It's just things that you realize that you come into. There's more to that, and I can unpack it more, but we need more than time, But I really care about people today. Right now, out of all of that, I done blew away. I can stand here and say that I'm thankful for everything that I've done. 17 years, I can't explain what I did. All I did the time. The time didn't do me. I didn't go home. Don't go home with the same thing you came in the door with. How many people came in here with a GED or a high school diploma? All right, you got high school diploma, GED. All right, so let me ask you a question. High school diploma, GED. Okay, so how many of y'all push the person that's sitting next to you to get their education? Now, I mean, really, really hold them accountable. It's like, look, if you came in here without a high school diploma or GED, you need to get that, because you have to know how to communicate. You have to know how to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, then when you go to a job, how you going to stand in front of an interview? How you going to fill out a W-9? How you going to fill out the application? When they come and give you a contract, how many people want to run a business? How want to run their own business? You want to run your own business? You say you do? All right, now out of y'all that want to run your own business, how many of y'all got a high school diploma? Cool. All right, so that doesn't mean that you have to have it. My father didn't have a high school diploma. He dropped out. He fought in the Korean War. He ran his own company. That doesn't give you an out. Push yourself beyond the measure to where you can't go no more. I have seen the movie John Wick. How many of y'all seen John Wick? And when he was looking for the high table, and what he's telling him, he said, ride till you can't ride no more. And then when you finish riding, just walk. And then right before you die, keep walking. If he finds you, he finds you. That's what you have to push. The same push that we did out there in the corners, the same tenacity you had to kill ourselves, you have to have that same tenacity to want to live. You can't want to, the first year once you get out, I would suggest you don't even think about a relationship. What I did once I came home after doing 17 years, yes, I wanted to get in a relationship. Yes, I wanted to go to the hotel. Yes, I wanted to get drunk. And the crazy part about it? My sobriety date is January 29th of 2000. I got out in 2010. I got locked up in 93. Notice, I said when I first got home, I wanted to get drunk. But my sobriety date was January 29th of 2000. So what does that tell you? I just wasn't using. That don't mean I'm sober. I just wasn't using. In my mind, I already had the reservation that I wanted to get high when I hit the gates. Why? Because, oh, I'm not in there no more. I mean, it make no difference. I mean, I'm making wine under my bed, but yet I'm going to meetings. I'm doing classes. Wine under the bed, store boxes, parlay tickets, poker tables, you name it, we did it. In the program, it's called Lifeline Therapeutic. I was at Lawrenceville. I'm telling you, it was more buffoonery going on over there. This is what I dealt, but when I made the decision, I'm like, no, you know what, I'm not gonna do this no more. And I came into that realization. I got into that program. Actually, it was through the grace of God I got in that program. Why? Because I was doing 2 years of isolation, no human contact. So 2 years in a cell with no human contact. Only thing I had for about 6 to 8 months straight, I had a loaf. That's where I put myself at. That's what we do, right? That's going hard, ain't it? That's what's going hard, ain't it? I said I ain't gonna put no tear dots on my face, but I put it on my hand. Still marking myself. I look at it every day. They're faces that I see that it would never go away. Never go away. And the only thing I plead is said, let the time that I've done be the price you never have to pay. Stop it right here while you got the chance. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just keep it. Take it on the chest. Shake it off. Keep it moving. You have to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. But we don't think about the family members. We don't think about the kids. We don't think about missing the games. Sitting out there when the bus stop comes, walking to the bus stop. We don't think about that. We won't worry about going to clubs, TikTok, Instagram, sliding to somebody, you know what I mean? Doing the latest trend. Let's do a trend of being men and women. Doing not the right thing, but the righteous thing. What's the next righteous thing? So when somebody see us, they can walk behind our footsteps and not fall in the ditch. No, our spiritual leader said it's a difference between a pothole and a speed bump. He said, don't be a pothole, but be the speed bump. Speed bump is used to where you can slow down because you're somewhere where, okay, take your time and keep it moving. Pothole will knock your whole front end alignment out. And you cussing and everything else. I know, because I had oh my God, man. Hey, I was coming off the highway one day. That's when I had my Lexus coming around there, looking all smooth, and hit a pothole down Oliver Hill Way. Boom! There it is. I knew. I said, God, easy, man. Well, I don't have that car no more. But anyway, needless to say, but right now, out of all of that, the first step, man, when I really came to realization, man, the first step hit me when I was in that cell. And it's like, and I tell it even to this day, I don't know how. If somebody could ask me, what was your waking moment, or the first step is basically, my bottom was that very next thing. And when my sponsor told me, say, look, your bottom, if you really want to know what a bottom is, that very next thing that you're about to lose is more important than that drink or drug that you refuse to lose. And at that moment, I done threw everything away. But I never had a connection with my higher power, or who I call God today. I never had a connection with him. I've been around it. I've been around the church. I've seen people do it, but I never had a connection myself. But I'm saying, well, people, they making money. I'm thinking that they black. No, it's just more square footage of hell that you living in. If that's the case, then a lot of the athletes out there, they should call them blessed. No, it's just that's a person who is good at their craft and what they do. Does that mean that you can't have money? No, it's just you have to have a balance with it and knowing what it's for, an exchange or a means to go from one point to a next. But yet, what are you doing? Are you doing it to help somebody over here, or are you doing it for something else, or a selfish gain? Are you making money or stepping on the back of somebody else to get to where you need to get to? So I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get in my bag. Okay, true. Once you get in your bag, now you trapped. And the only way you can get out is if somebody release you. That's a bag. So don't be in it. Be the producer of it. Be the one who makes it. Be the manufacturer of the bag. Be the one who owns the land, who has the trees to have to be transformed into that. Because money comes from paper, paper comes from trees come from seeds come from God. So once you know that and you have that inside of you, and then you have the steps in there from 1 to 12, don't skip 1 to 5 to 6. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. The steps are there to build up a discipline that we don't have. So from the first step, when I admit that I'm powerless over my drugs and alcohol, and my life had become unmanageable. So now I had a mission, I had that powerlessness, and I had an unmanageability. Those 3 components. And once I wrap that up, then that right there shows me that I don't have the answers. Now I got to find out who has the answers. That's where you go to sponsors. That's where you got the groups. That's where you got the home groups. That's where you put the service work in. So it's going to be some work. You're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to put the work in. And then once you put that work in, don't worry about the next step. Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Because what we will do, we'll think about 50 steps down the street, but yet miss the whole first step that's right in front of us. So don't even worry about that. It's going to be, I feel sorry for y'all, to be honest with you. You're going home and you're about to be faced with some real life stuff that you never even seen before. It looks one way on the TV or on the screen, but when you hit that ground, when they open that door, what you going to do? What plan do you have? What you going to do when you get home? Why should you be even free? I question myself that. I actually made parole back in 98. They took my parole back. Why? Because I didn't tell. I got sentenced to 32 years for not snitching. That's why I got locked up. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't murder nobody. I didn't have no massive drug ring. No, I just chose not to tell on somebody. And Virginia Beach slapped me with 32 years. And which I had to do 17 years, which is life for armed robbery, because it was 3 armed robberies. When I went up for parole, they gave me parole, but then they took it back because it was 3 robberies. They say what? 3 strikes under that one thing. So 151B1. Look that up. I will never forget that. And you know what? I said, you know what? Thank you. And no, I was at the point, the hardest thing, I had to get on the phone and tell my people that they had told me everything. I had the wardens, every jail that I went to. I started programs there. I started a Choices program down in Lunenburg. Then the IYC, Inmate Youth Connection, I started that program, which some of y'all probably have. I don't know, some of y'all been through the system. Any of y'all been through the system? All right, so where you been at? Grayville, Lawrenceville? All right. The program over there, Lifeline Therapeutic Community, that was me. IYC, that was me. You know what? I made a decision. Wherever I step foot on, whatever institution I step foot on, I'm gonna make a difference. So the next young person, if they do come through, they're not gonna make the same mistake. They're not gonna stay stuck. It's one thing of being stuck, but don't stay stuck. You can have emotions. Feel that. At 30 seconds in that emotion, you jump up out that jam. I'm telling you, you stay in 30 seconds, you jump out of it, because the big book says that the grouch and the brainstorm, I don't have that dubious luxury. I can't I'm all the way over here. I just go 1,000. That's it. It shows in my life. I am horrible. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the grace of my high power, I would not be here now. I'm telling you. So, in the good side, out of hearing all that, you would say like, God, dog, man, y'all done. So right now, for those that are getting ready to come home, this is what I have for you. This is what my mission is now. So I have a company. It's called Fishers of Men Transition and Development. I'm still developing myself because I'm with friends. I had an apartment, lost that jet. Lost the heck out of that jet too. I had a job, man. The joint went out of business. I didn't even know the joint was out of business. I go over there and I'm like, God, dog, man, what's going on, man? It was called the Conrad Center. Conrad Center shut down. Boom. I went there, I walked down and I say, man, that joint, the other lights is out. It's supposed to be on. This is a homeless shelter. So I lost my apartment. So it is. And somebody that I used to sell for me, it's amazing how when you go and right there at that last straw, somebody that you know that you did dirt with always pops up. Am I lying? Every time you could be right at that jumping off moment and here it come. I'm like, man, look, get away from me. I ran. So I'm with a deacon and a pastor right now. So they're helping me restructure some things. So now I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna make a difference now. I said, John, I got to get this ball rolling. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna jump in the solution. I'm up there talking about it, so I'm gonna get in the solution. So I don't cap off at telling so, oh man, go out there, get your home. Okay, so I'm staying with them, I'm paying them rent, so I'm getting that discipline, you know what I'm saying, having that because of always haven't had a problem paying my bills. So it doesn't mean that, okay, well, oh man, I gotta go live with my mom or my dad or my, okay, you gotta get yourself together. You have to be in the structure somewhere, even if you have to go to a program, even if you may have to go to the McShin Foundation or the Healing Place for Men or Women. If you have, go where you know that, all right, that's where you need to go, besides that toxic stuff, all right? But somewhere where you know that you're gonna be held accountable, you're gonna be, people gonna be looking at you and say, hey, what are you doing? Okay, you need to do this, do that. Man, it feel like I'm locked up, man. Shut that all the way up. Okay, so if you could deal with it here, deal with it out, but out there it's a total different situation out there. Even with, there's no difference between right now, the difference between you and the person standing on the walls. They go through the exact same thing, decision making. Doesn't mean that we make the best decisions, no. There are certain things that are called arrestable and non-arrestable crime. A true criminal thinking, teaching on this, right? The definition of a criminal is making a decision without the regards of another, doing the forbidden, trying to hide it. That's the definition of a criminal. Anytime anybody makes a decision without the regards of another, doing the forbidden, trying to hide it, that's criminal thinking. And that is a criminal. That's the true definition of a criminal. So that right there levels the playing field. That means everybody on the earth is a criminal in some way, form, or fashion. But you just have arrestable and non-arrestable crime. Okay, you have a person that robs a store. What's the difference if you cut the line? It still breaking. Okay, if a person who steals a car, but a person who jaywalks, still breaking the law. But it's arrestable or non-arrestable. You walking down the street, you got to get across the street. If you don't cross at the crosswalk, that's breaking the law. If a person really want to hold you accountable to it, you can't be mad. You can't be. If you got to be in at 10 o'clock and you come in at 10:05, you're late. To be on time is to be late. If you're showing up right on time, you're not on time. You're actually late because you didn't give yourself time to prepare. Always arrive before to prepare. So the company that I have now, it's a transition program to where I have clinicians, to where I'm contracted to 4 different mental health skill building companies, crisis stabilization. So before you come home, anybody that's on Medicaid, and Marshall, I'll make sure I give my information. So what I do and my business partners, we put you in a hotel for a couple of days, get your mind together. And then we help you out. But once you get your Medicaid straight, but you gotta be on point. All right. I have also some food carts. There was some food carts with another business partner to where I actually will hire you and put you on food carts, get you some money in your pockets. So you got people out there that's working for you. But I tell you, man, you're gonna have to you gotta be on point. Now I'm asking you some questions. If your family's straight, deal with your family. If you're in recovery, you gotta have a home group, go to meetings. If you slack on any of those, I will fire you. If you're supposed to be in meetings and you slacking off and going on a date, I will fire you. Because it's more than just pissing dirty. It's when you're pissing dirty in your mind. That's what I look at the behaviors. The true relapse is the behaviors that precede. That is the relapse. The physical is nothing. But Johnny told me in the book that when I put it down, I solved the drink problem. Just don't drink. It's the behaviors. So this morning we could talk about, more I could share about. And my time is up. I got to get up out of here. I got to go because I ain't trying to be here no longer than I got you. I love y'all. Nothing you can do about it, but I got to get out of here.
Hey, thank you all very much tonight for your cooperation. Y'all were an awesome, attentive audience, and we'll be back in 2 weeks, man. Thanks for letting us come in.
Hey, wait a minute, one more thing.
Whoa, Marshall, one more thing.
Hey, it's nice to be alive, but it's great to be living.